Hi friends, welcome to Tech Education. This is part 1 of API Management series. In this video, we will understand what exactly is Azure API Management Service, what are the key features it has and the three important components of APIM. Before proceeding further, please subscribe to the channel. Let's understand APIM with a scenario. Imagine you are working on a payment processing service which offers robust payment solutions for applications. The goal is to enable businesses to easily integrate your payment processing capabilities into their applications through well-defined APIs. So these APIs you wanted to expose it, and these APIs are related to the payment processing services. And it has a couple of requirements. First requirement is these APIs will have some 3 subscriptions. Free subscription is the first one where users will be able to make 100 API calls per day. Second one is premium subscription where 1000 API calls they will be able to make it per day. And finally, enterprise based subscription which has unlimited API request. And another requirements are the APIs, whatever you are exposing, this should be like secure. Second is rate limiter. Since you have multiple subscriptions, you wanted to have a rate limiter for each subscription. Third one is performance. Obviously, such a payment processing service needs to have a better performance. Next is API versioning. You wanted to support multiple versions of the API. And then finally is IP filtering. In these APIs, you have two categories. One is like internal APIs and external APIs. External APIs will be invoked by the vendors, whereas internal APIs will be invoked by the internal users. One conventional way of implementing these is by writing an extra logic, which increases your development effort and testing effort. What if I tell you that there is a better way of doing this? Any guesses? You're right. That is via API management services. These non-functional API requirements can be handled by APIM itself. We'll not be writing any extra logic. That is the whole concept of APIM. Now let's understand by definition. API management. It is a platform or service designed to manage, secure, and optimize the usage and performance of application programming interfaces. This acts as a gateway to facilitate communication between different applications or services. And second thing is this acts as a proxy to our APIs. And as we discussed earlier, this handles non-functional requirements of APIs without writing any extra code. This is the most beautiful feature of APIM. Let's understand the workflow of APIM. This entire part is in Azure. These are the clients. These are your services. This is where APIM comes into picture. That is why this is called as acts as a gateway for your services. The flow is when the clients will make a request via internet, they will not be invoking the endpoints directly. They will be invoking APIM endpoint. This in turn routes the request to the corresponding backend service. These backend services could be app services or even it could be function apps also. These clients are invoking internal APIs. If you remember, one of our requirement is we wanted to have two categories of APIs. One is internal, one is for external. So, and another thing is whenever you create APIM, the endpoint will be suffixed with API.NET. Here I have shown with an example. Check payment gateway service dot azure-api.net. That means this is an APIM service. Second is I have created a category called internal and then I have hosted a user service into this. So since it is a user service, it is used by the internal users. Next is I have created another category called external APIs, which will be used by the vendors. If you notice, the URL of the APIM is same, tech payment gateway service Azure API.net. Here also it is the same thing. The only difference here is instead of internal, here it is external, and the corresponding API is listed over here. In the next video, we will be creating these two services and host it in app service, and then we will configure these app services in APIM. We will invoke these particular services via APIM using Postman. I'll show you the clear demo in the next video. There are three main components in APIM. The first one is the management plane. This is the plane where we use it to configure uh, our applications or services in APIM. Second one is the gateway, which you call it as a data plane. The vendors or the clients will invoke the services via the gateway. And the final component is the developer portal, which you call it as a user plane. This is used by the developers to test the APIs to understand more about it, like what is the request response object, and they can see some documentation related to the APIs. If you see here, it is not only app services, it can be function apps, it can be logic apps, all these things can be routed via the gateway. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.